So during COVID, I discovered this cool Japanese neo-soul lo-fi guitar player called Kazuki Sogai, and he plays super tasteful chords like on the riff just now. What's coolest about the riff just now is that there are really only two chords, G sharp major and C minor. But it doesn't sound like that because he varies them up in super cool lo-fi ways. So I thought I'd make a video breaking down what he's playing on the riff and show you how you can transform these common chords, the major and the minor, into cool lo-fi chords. So we've got this first part to start with. So first we got this G sharp major 7th chord. Sounds really beautiful, but all it really is just a G sharp major chord with this major bar shape, but play with the thumb over, and then move this G sharp note on the high E string down 1 fret for this major 7 sound. Just a really simple but commonly used chord in lo-fi neo-soul. Next, we're still on this G sharp major chord, but he plays this G sharp diminished chord instead. Without going too deep into theory, you can think of a diminished chord as a secret weapon. So you can sub any chord you're playing, let's say G sharp major in this case, for its diminished chord equivalent, so the G sharp diminished chord, for a dark sound. So there are many ways to play diminished chords, but the most common way in lo-fi neo-soul is the shape starting on the D string. So we put one finger on the root note, in this case the G sharp note, put one finger down below on the B string, and then another finger 1 fret up on the G string, and the final finger on the high E string. And the cool thing about diminished chords is here we got a G sharp diminished chord, but there are actually many other G sharp diminished chords too on the neck, and they're exactly 4 frets apart from each other. What I mean is we got the G sharp diminished chord here, G sharp diminished here too, here, here. This is the shape we were playing earlier on the 3rd fret. And then in this case, I was playing this diminished chord with my index finger barred so I can do this sliding lick better. So just a super cool chord trick in lo-fi neo-soul. After that, we got this C minor 7 chord. It's really just a minor bar shape we all know starting on the A string, but without the pinky. And then playing some cool lo-fi extensions on top. So we got the 2 to the flat 3 to the 4. Just a really simple lo-fi chord. So half of lo-fi is really not just playing the chord, but playing cool extensions on top. Or at the very least, arpeggiating the chords. Then we kind of repeat the same thing the second time through. Except at the very end, we take this C minor 7 chord up to the 7th fret and play it here, which is just another way to play a C minor 7 chord. And what it really is just the minor bar shape on the low E string, but then we take away the pinky, so to get that minor 7 sound. And then we take away the bass notes, so it's just the top 4 strings. Really beautiful, but that's really all we're doing. Lo-fi and neo-soul love omitting the bass notes for a more focused sound using just 4 high strings. If you're interested in learning about different ways to abbreviate your chords or just take away certain strings on the chords that you know for a cooler sound, check out this video where I talk about a 2-note chord trick that popular guitar players like John Frusciante from Red Hot Chili Peppers like to use for a more focused sound. We're halfway through already. After that, we got probably the coolest part of all, using just super cool lo-fi chords on the higher 4 strings of the guitar. So we start off with this major 7th chord. But again, this is really just a G sharp major 7th chord, just like here. This progression, again, is really just mostly these 2 chords, G sharp major and C minor, but with cool lo-fi chord variations throughout. So this G sharp major 7 chord is really just a D shape, but with the root note on the G sharp note and played here, and getting rid of the pinky for a major 7 sound. The D shape is super common in lo-fi because again, lo-fi loves using chords that's only played on the 4 higher strings of the guitar. Then again here we got this G sharp diminished chord, which is just 4 frets above the G sharp diminished chord we played earlier. Again, they're identical diminished chords, exactly 4 frets apart from each other, as we talked about earlier. So in this case, we're just playing it, he's just playing it up here on the 6th fret, so it's closer to the chord that comes before, this G sharp major 7 chord. Then we play this C minor 7 chord. But again, this is really just the D shape, but D minor. And then we put the root note on the C. And then move the note on the B string down 2 frets for that minor 7 sound. And also hammer on off the 4th note as we play it, which is just a super common chord trick used in lo-fi neo-soul. Next, we got probably the most iconic lo-fi chord of all, the minor 9 chord. So what's happening here is we take this minor 7 shape we have earlier from the C minor bar chord shape, and then we put our pinky on the 9th note on the high E string, 2 frets above. That's the minor 9 chord. And then the lick we're doing here is, so we take the 7th chord here, minor 7th, hammer on the 9th note, and move it over, slide it over to the 10th note, and back, and then pull off. So if you take one thing away from today, it would definitely be this minor 9 chord. This is probably the most used chord trick in all of lo-fi. Playing the minor 9 chord and then hammering on and pulling off. To finish off the riff, we come back to this left area of the neck. So it's just the first G sharp major 7 chord that we learned in the very beginning. But after this, we introduce a new chord, the G7 chord, which is the 3 in this progression. So it's really just the G major chord, this bar shape again, but we remove the pinky for this 7 sound, and then we omit playing the A string, so it becomes like this, G7. We only play the low E, and then D, G, B strings. It's just a common way in lo-fi and neo-soul to play the 7th chord if you want to make it sound more full. So it's just by omitting the A and high E strings. Finally, to finish off this riff, we got this C minor chord again. But instead of playing it this way, we're playing it in a way we never seen before, like this, the C minor 9 shape. So what we do here, the lick that happens here is we strum once, and then we move our pinky out 1 fret for that minor 3rd note, and slide it back, and arpeggiate. Again, most of lo-fi chord playing is really just about playing with different extensions and arpeggiating. So to simplify it, with lo-fi chords, you can really think of there as having 2 types. So a major type, and then a minor type. So for major, we learned cool lo-fi variations like this one, starting on the low E string, and then this D shape, and then also this 7 shape. Another one I'll throw in there that we didn't talk about, it's not in the progression, but it's commonly used, is this shape starting on the A string. So this is the major 9 chord. And then as for minor chords, we got the minor 7 shape here, very similar to the bar shape. And then we got this minor 9 shape. And then we also have this shape up here, which is just the bar shape starting on the high E string, but then the minor 7th version. And it's commonly played with the 9th note. Finally, the D shape, commonly played with the 4th note. And for both major and minor chords, you can try subbing them for diminished chords. So this is G sharp major, G sharp diminished. And to form a diminished chord, place the root note on the D string, do the shape. And then you can find identical diminished chords exactly 4 frets apart from each other. So it's really flexible, so you can choose where you want to play them. And finally, to make your chords and progression sound more lo-fi, try using chord extensions and try arpeggiating the chords. To better show and demonstrate how you can apply these lo-fi chords to your playing, I thought I would improvise a short 30-second lo-fi riff using all the chords and tricks we talked about. Just by playing around with different chord options, like with these lo-fi chords, a progression suddenly sounds so much more interesting. If you're interested in learning more about different cool chords to use, check out this video where I talk about common chords used in K-pop. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.